Old ways are changing and rearranging the things I knew ere I reached my prime.
Old ways are changing and rearranging the things we knew ere I reached my prime, and lost forever beyond recover our men and places.
So you were station master here, or halt keeper, for 32 years?
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
that's right.
You have a lot of memories about this place then.
Yeah, that's two now. The steps there, and I remember I was going out to mass one Sunday morning, and Jerry Roach was alive that time, and Dermot was at home with the mother. But this boar come in Saturday night, and I rang Mr. Roach, and she said, "There's nobody here." She said, "Can you do anything with the boar? The boar's in the crate." So I put the boar in the ladies' waiting room. And we kept it until the morning.
So just to recap, the boar was coming for roaches on the train,
Yeah,
and they weren't here to pick it up.
yeah,
So you put it in the ladies' waiting room.
yeah.
Why not the gentleman's waiting room?
The ladies' waiting room was handier, you know, the first
Okay,
one.
right. The boar didn't worry anyway.
Yeah,
So that's a great story. That's a great story. So there was a lot of animals dispatched through this station then. A lot of animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a major thing, wasn't it?
got dogs and they got sheep and
Yes.
they had cattle,
Horses.
horses.
Of course.
Padbury used to load horses.
Yeah. Yeah.
We used to load even the horses on the passenger train now for pads. You know, there was horse boxes with packed stalls. There was 3 stalls in the wagon.
Right.
You could put 3 horses in it.
Okay.
But Padge used to be sending horses to mares to the stallions down in Cork, and he was going to race meetings. And,
Yeah. And that's how they went. Another wagon put onto the passenger train.
yeah,
Wow.
he used to back the passenger in there, and the wagon would be down there, and we'd load the horse through the store there into the wagon, and then we'd push the wagon up just to about there so it wouldn't be putting the passenger down again the wall at the bank,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. So the passengers would have to get on here at the freight side then, would they?
Yeah, they'd be on the train. They would be just going up there and back it down to pick up the wagon here.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
So all the people would, mainly the younger crowd, I suppose, going on the day out for 15th of August. The train would be packed anyway, wouldn't
No,
it?
the whole family now would
The
go,
whole
you
family,
know.
Yeah. Train would be packed. Yeah,
I haven't had, I think I had 141 morning booked
Yeah.
to Waterford.
Just out of Duncormick station.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
but that was only for that particular day in the year.
I do know that. Yeah, I do know that.
You
And
would
there'd be special trains on for that day, would there be?
yeah,
2 or 3?
there's special trains
Yeah.
out the harbour for that. Yeah,
And what about matches then? Would there be specials on for
Same,
matches?
Yeah,
Yeah.
matches and knock used to. Used to have trains every Sunday now going to knock.
Right.
They wouldn't be back till about 2, 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Right, Aidan, can you tell us about the system, the lovely system for guiding the trains along this line? Yeah, how does that work?
I can tell you about when you're trying to explain to somebody outside that's not railway attached, you know, they don't understand all the different things that go
The
into
words
it.
and things, yeah.
So the girl used to go on the train here, and she was working in Waterford, and she come early one evening, and she was here about an hour before the train. So she come up and she was getting the cabin, and I made her a cup of tea, and she copped the ring pooches and the flat pooch, and she asked me all about it. I spent an hour explaining to her all about how the system worked.
Yes.
And when the train arrived and she was getting on the train, I shut the door and she said to me, I haven't an idea what you were talking about.
Well, try this again, Aidan.
No,
Try
we'll
this
try-
again.
we'll
Try
try
this
it
again. So Nickery is the crossing gate, the next crossing gate down here. So you would get a signal from them when it passed them, would you?
No, I had nothing to do with their signal. I wouldn't see their signals in Bridgetown now.
But you get a ding or a bell or something on the telegraph, no? Yeah?
No, I'd ring them when the train would be
On the
ready
way.
to leave on the bridge. I'd ring all the crossings.
Okay.
And I'd tell them to open the gate, and they'd open the gate and they'd fasten the gate when the train had passed. But I wouldn't know whether they fastened the gate or not. But I told them that
You
the
give
train was
instruction.
ready to
Yes,
leave,
yeah.
and they'd all open the gate, you know.
Right.
And they'd use their own judgment. We say from London Bridge to Bridgetown could take quarter of an hour, that, you know.
Right. Yes.
They wouldn't open the gates that quick now, but
They'd hear the train, of course. You'd hear
and,
the line. You'd
yeah,
hear
they'd hear the train
Yeah,
coming as
yeah.
well.
Like from Nickery, you'd hear it coming into
Yeah.
Duncormick here. So, yeah.
But I had the down train now. You'd have or the up train. You'd have Bridgetown. You'd have Nickery. You'd have Mushdoon, and you'd have who was the next one?
That's it. That's it. That direction. That's it.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. And the steam trains then. When did they? Do you remember working with the steam here? Yeah. Steam engines.
Yeah. They done away with the steam there. I don't know what year now they done away with that. And we used to have the water. There was a water column down there at the far side of the platform.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you're looking at them concrete bricks there now
Yes.
on the rails.
Yes.
I got a £0.5 a week for keeping a supply of water for the steam engines going up and down. There was a pump down, you'd pump the water out of the river
Right.
up to the water column there.
A hand pump. Hand pump.
No, electric.
Yeah. Electric pump.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
there was a shed down there just under Bob Moore's house now, just
Right.
down on the river. And the pipe went out in the river and they pumped the water up to the column up there.
Right.
And it used to water 4 engines. The full of it was water, 4 engines.
Right.
But you'd have to keep pumping. Every time a train would take the water out, you'd have to go down and turn on the pump to
Yeah.
pump the water back up.
Back up again. Yeah.
But you'd be alright with 1, you know.
Yes.
Until if you had 4, you were in trouble. They're completely empty, you know.
Yeah. And that was an extra bonus on top of your normal wages, was it?
Yeah.
How much again was it?
£0.5.
A half a
£1.
crown. 2 and 6. What's that worth in today's money?
2 and 6.
I don't know.
It was 8 £0.5 in the pound.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, half crowns in the pound.
Yeah.
And when the water used to go low, I used to have to go down to the river and I used to have to dig a channel in the clay to get the water to run in, so you know the water
Yeah.
to run away from the dry time.
Yeah. And what about coal? Was coal put on here? Was there coal put on here?
No,
No.
the coal was all done in Waterford, Wexford and
Right.
Rosslare.
So they have their
Rosslare
coal. They
Harbour.
just take on water here.
Yeah,
Then. Yeah.
But they took the water column down and after I leave, and now I didn't see it going down, but they sent it to where did it go? They made the concrete blocks. I see the concrete blocks is on the rails there.
Yes, yes.
They use the water column for mixing cement to make them blocks there.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I believe there's a bit of that column around here. Charlie was telling me there's a bit here still. He was going to.
No, I never see it.
He was going to get it, but
It was right where the bridge was going over. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
I do remember. It was still standing in my time. I
Yeah,
remember. Even
the
though there was
big
no
square.
steam trains coming in. And
My young lad used to swim in it in the summer.
yeah.
There's a great ladder going up to it, you know.
That's the other thing, Ed. This wasn't just your work. This was your home. This house up here was where you lived for all that 32 years, and had all your children up here, and it must have so many memories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any very special memory of you that you have here? Then, what coming back today now and seeing it? How do you feel about seeing it today?
I wouldn't hardly know it now today. I was surprised that was the loading bank now, you know. But when I see the steps there, I remember Dermot.
Yes. And the footbridge then was down over there, right?
That was right
there.
down when you come in from the gate, now right straight across, and then the water column was right opposite that.
Yeah.
And then there was a slope going up.
Single box, I'd say, was about here then, was it? About here? Or I was over there looking at one day, and I think the foundations.
Further down
maybe
now.
further down, yeah. And then the station building. And you gave me a lovely picture of that, which, you know, will be on the film of the people standing on the platform in the old ways it was, yeah. That would be lovely. And now the train line is dead, gone.
Gone,
Yeah. So there's still, this inspection car went up, I think, last Tuesday.
There's a home signalling there now, and then there's the signals and all was up there for coming in and going down there, you know.
Yeah.
They're up there now.
I think they've moved the track, they've changed the line of the track,
Yeah.
I think it has been renewed. So we don't know whether it'll be coming back or not, or whether it'll be a cycle path or a greenway they're proposing now.
Making a greenway.
What?
They're talking about making a greenway.
They're talking about making it a greenway. Yeah.
I think there's already a greenway out there.
Duncormick station, sad loss to our nation, like hundreds more it was forced to close. And that place of joy I recall as a boy is deserted now but for hares and crows. I remember when it was full of men and the beat sprongs clang over laughter rows as they loaded the beat to make sugar sweet and drank whiskey neat when the factory closed. So there's my song of days bygone and of memories fond well worth recall, of men and places who by their graces have left their traces upon us all. As down the glen came McAlpine's men, with their shovels slung behind them. It was in the pub, they drank their sub, and up in the spike you'll find them. They sweated blood, and they washed down mud with pints and with quarts.
The Rosslare Harbour to Waterford railway line came into a context which was a competition between railway companies on the mainland of the bigger island, if you like, England, Wales and Scotland. Since Queen Victoria had come to Killarney in the end of the 19th century, Killarney was now on the to-do list for wealthier people in England to go to. They hadn't yet worked up to going to the continent, so Ireland was the most exotic destination they could find, and Killarney was outstanding in that regard. So already there was a track through Holyhead and Dublin down to Mallow and Mallow out to Killarney. That was already in context. I was going ahead. But the Great Western Line, who were their big competitors in the southwest of England, they were jealous and wanted some of that business. In the context of the time, railway companies were more like the Ryanairs and EasyJets of our time. They were competing on everything, and if one was doing something, the other wanted to do the same thing and better. So the plan was made, and early in 1901, the contract went out for the construction of the Rosslare Harbour to Waterford railway line. It had been mooted for some years, but it now came to fruition at that time. And the contract was won by one Robert McAlpine, a very interesting man born in Motherwell in Scotland. Spent his early years from 10 years of age down the coal mine, but worked himself up to becoming one of the most significant contractors of his era. And he got this contract. It was only his second railway contract. They actually lived they rented the house in Blockton House. They rented Blockton House from the Lett family for the duration of the building. So some of the McAlpines, either Sir Bob himself, he wasn't then a baronet of course, he was just Robert McAlpine, or Concrete Bob they called him, or one of his four sons, or a number of his four sons, lived in that house and oversaw the building of the line. It was the last railway constructed in Ireland. Every other railway was already done. There was no other big project came after it. And it might be significant that Sir Robert Alpine had the first motor car around these parts, and he drove that in order to go around the sites and oversee the construction of the railway, which may have been an indication that, you know, the motor cars were soon, or in following decades, were going to overtake the railways, which is what has happened since.
I worked till the sweat near had me bet, with Russians, Czechs and Poles, on shuttering jams in the hydro dams, or underneath the Thames in a hole. I grafted hard and I got me cards, and many a ganger's fist across me ears. If you pride your life, don't join by quest with McAlpine Fusiliers.
Duncormick station, sad loss to our nation, like hundreds more, it was forced to close. And that place of joy, I recall as a boy, is deserted now, but for hares and crows. I remember when it was full of men, and the beach drums clang over Laughter rose, as they loaded the beat to make sugar sweet, and drank whiskey neat when the factory closed. So there's our song of days bygone, and of memories fond, well worth recall, of men and places who by their graces have left their traces upon us all.
Then up at the scales came the men that had dales, in sheep with tails and in pigs with squeals. But the money that passed, sure it didn't last, it was drank down fast on John Sinnott's ales. His little thatched shop, where we all love to stop, sure it's right at the top of our village's fame, where the man at the bar will know just who you are, and your granddaddy's name. Sorry about that.